Have you ever stopped to think about what really enslaves you? I'm not talking about physical prisons. I'm talking about that voice in your head that screams every time something goes out of your control, that panic when someone criticizes you, that rage when plans fall apart, that fear of the future that paralyzes you at night. Do you know what that is? It's the illusion that you can control everything, and there exists an ancient philosophy, practically forgotten nowadays, that destroys this illusion completely. Welcome to the video about Stoicism, the art of living free. If you haven't subscribed yet, give this a like now and turn on notifications. I promise that the next 10 minutes will rewrite your relationship with suffering, with fear, with everything that holds you back. Let's go. I'm going to start with a story. Imagine a man on his deathbed. He is in pain, impossible to ignore. His friends around him crying, desperate. And do you know what he does? He smiles, closes his eyes, and whispers, "It's okay. I accepted this a long time ago." Sounds crazy, right? But this man wasn't crazy. He was Epictetus, a Roman slave who became one of the greatest philosophers in history. How does someone enslaved manage to achieve freedom? The answer is simple. Epictetus understood something fundamental that 99% of people will never understand. Epictetus said a phrase that changes lives. It is not things that disturb men, but rather the judgment they make about things. Think with me, you lose your job. The fact itself, loss of employment, is neutral. It's just something happening. But then comes the judgment. I'm a failure. I'll never get another job. My life is destroyed. I'm going to lose my house. And then you panic. Then comes depression. Then comes paralysis. But the job didn't do any of that. It was your thoughts about the job. Let me tell you another secret. You don't control what happens. Period. This is the uncomfortable truth that most people run from. You don't control whether it rains or the sun shines. You don't control whether your boss is abusive. You don't control whether your partner cheats on you. You don't control whether you wake up with a serious illness. You don't control anything that comes from outside. But do you know what you control absolutely? Your thoughts, your interpretation, your response, your will, your character, your principles. All of that is yours. And here's the point. When you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you stop suffering. The Stoic school, founded by Zeno of Citium in 300 BCE, was very clear about this. There were two types of things, those within your control and those that aren't. And wisdom lay in knowing the difference within your control. Your thoughts, your effort, your purpose, your beliefs, your inner desires, your aversion, your moral choices. Outside, your control, your body, your wealth, your reputation, your position, your health, your death, people around you. Everything external. And here comes the game changer. If you invest your energy, your hope, your peace of mind in things you don't control, you are a slave to others' opinions, a slave to circumstance, a slave to fear. But if you invest everything in things you control, your virtue, your character, your moral response to the world, you are free, completely free. And this freedom is immune to any external attack. Nobody can take away your virtue. Nobody can take away your capacity to choose well. Nobody. I'm going to tell you about Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful emperor of the known world. Billions in wealth, armies under his command, wife, children, parents, and him? He would wake up in the morning and say to himself, "I will encounter envious people, ungrateful people, arrogant people, liars, violent people, selfish people. All these things happen because these people don't know the difference between good and evil." Do you know what that is? That's equanimity. It's the ability to see reality as it is, without dramatizing, without hating, without desperation. Marcus Aurelius had everything the world offers, but he knew that none of that was really his. And that's exactly why he had nothing to fear. Now, here's what nobody wants to hear. Stoicism is not about being cold or detached. It's not about not feeling anything. That's a huge myth. Marcus Aurelius loved his wife. He missed his children. He knew that death was certain, and he cried, he felt. But he wasn't enslaved by his feelings. He understood that feelings pass. That reality doesn't change because you're sad. And that his responsibility was to respond in a wise and ethical way, not in an emotional way. Let me give you a modern example. You're in a job interview. Your heart rate rises, your hands tremble, your mind goes blank. Total fear. From the Stoic perspective, do you know what's happening? You're placing power where it doesn't exist. You gave power to the interviewer to determine your value. You gave power to the outcome to determine your peace of mind. But Stoicism says, you own one and only one thing here: your preparation, your honest effort, your ethical response during the interview. That is yours. The outcome? That's not yours. And when you release the outcome, anxiety disappears, because now you're focused on what you really control. There's a Stoic concept called premeditatio malorum, imagining the worst scenarios in advance. Seems contradictory, doesn't it? Why torture your mind imagining disasters? But here's the genius. When you imagine losing your job, when you imagine harsh criticism, when you imagine death, when you imagine rejection, and then realize that you would survive, that you would continue being a person of value, that you would find a way, then the anxiety about those scenarios disappears, because you realize that you survive, that you're resilient, that nothing can take away your essence. Do you know what the greatest teaching of Stoicism is for today? It's that happiness is not outside. It's not in earning more money. It's not in having the perfect body. It's not in impressing people. It's not in having everything under control. Happiness, or rather, peace of mind, comes from within. It comes from you waking up every day and deciding to be a virtuous person. Deciding to act with integrity even when no one is watching. Deciding to be honest even when lying is easier. Deciding to be courageous even when afraid. That is true freedom. That is true peace. So, in the end, what's the lesson? Stoicism is not pessimistic. It's not about resignation. It's about freedom. It's about realizing that you're trapped in an illusion. The illusion that you control the external and breaking that chain. It's about focusing your energy on who you can be, not on what you can have. It's about transforming your suffering into wisdom. It's about waking up every day and saying, I control my character. I control my response. I control my actions. Everything else is indifferent. And when you realize that, when you really understand that, you finally become free. Completely free. Thank you for watching this far. If this touched your heart, leave a comment below. Write freedom or share which Stoic concept impacted you the most. Give this a like if this video inspired you. Subscribe to the channel for more philosophy, history, and inspiration that transforms lives. And share this with someone who needs to understand that they have more control than they think. May you discover the freedom that Stoicism promises. See you in the next video.